I'm Dr. Joan Harvey, Associate Dean for Student Affairs. I'm delighted that you have chosen to apply to PittMed. Your invitation to interview today is recognition that your accomplishments and what you have to bring to medicine are indeed impressive. That's why we wanted to talk to you today about your interest in becoming a physician and your interest in PittMed. I hope your interviews and your small group exercises went well and that all your questions have been answered. The Office of Student Affairs has many responsibilities. One of our key responsibilities is to provide longitudinal, individualized career advising. We also provide support for your very important transition to medical school. You will learn from my colleagues and PittMed students about two of the programs in our advisory system. They are the Advisory Deans Program and the FAST program, faculty and students together. Again, I want to offer a warm welcome to PittMed. We really appreciate your consideration of our wonderful medical school.
Hello, my name is Alda Maria Gonzaga. I'm a proud PittMed grad. I am the combined internal medicine and pediatrics residency program director and one of the advisory deans here at PittMed. It's my advisory dean role that I'd like to talk to you about now. There are 7 advisory deans. Our responsibility is to provide longitudinal career advising, advocacy, mentorship, and advice so that you can achieve your academic and professional goals. Each advisory dean is assigned approximately 25 students each year. As an advisory dean, I meet with my students in a group in what we call a house. My house is called House Gonzaga. I also meet with my students individually several times per year. During our meetings, we talk about how school is going, about your study habits, about how you're planning to explore your career options, and about your personal wellness. My goal is to collaborate with my students in the development of their career and academic plans. At PittMed, I want you to take full advantage of all of the wonderful resources we have. As your advisory dean, I will provide you guidance in how to balance the many responsibilities you will have as a student doctor. The thing I enjoy most as advisory dean is helping you achieve your career aspirations through the match process. Another important program we've developed for first-year students is the FAST program. FAST stands for Faculty and Students Together. Our FAST program is designed to assist first-year students with their transition to medical school. Until you come to medical school, you won't know what questions to ask or what issues will need to be addressed. Your FAST group is here to help you navigate the transition to medical school. Each FAST group consists of 4 to 5 first-year students, 2 second-year students, and 1 to 2 third and fourth-year students, as well as a faculty advisor. There are 5 FAST groups in House Gonzaga. FAST groups meet off campus for a variety of social events. During those meetings, the topics of conversation are wide-ranging. 2 of our students will now join us to talk about what they learned and what they did through their FAST groups.
I honestly think it made a world of difference in navigating through that first semester. So me going to University of Pittsburgh for undergrad, I felt like I had a leg up on some people on knowing the area, knowing the school a little bit more, and then you start and everyone's honestly on the same playing field because no one's done this before. And the FAST program for me was, so my dean is Dr. Nowak, and I had 2 second-year students I could go through to, and 1 third-year and 1 fourth-year student. We met with Dr. Nowak. I think you meet with him one-on-one 3 or 4 times throughout the year. And he just does a very good job, and I'm sure every advisory dean just does a very good job of letting you know that, 1, everyone's kind of feeling the same way, 2, that you can, go through these things, and 3, like connecting you with the actual resources. Because I think a lot of people can, give you support and give you advice, but a step that I feel like a lot of people skip is actually putting their feet forward and saying, okay, I'll connect you with this person. I will email these 3 or 4 people for you. I'll keep you connected. Have you looked at this resource? Have you looked at this resource? And then also having the second years and the students that are still, in school with it as well, they can give you the perspective of, I just did this last year. Don't do this, and things like that. That without knowing those little pearls, I feel like things are just, made a lot harder.
One of the things you can do is definitely ask people for advice and help. I think that's something that all of us want to do when we first come in, but we don't know where to go or who to ask. And I think this program kind of gives you a perfect pathway, right? So when I was a first year, I didn't know, for example, how to study for anatomy really well, or how to kind of tackle these med school classes. I've never studied for something like this before. It's very different from anything in the past. And you have second years that are fully available to you, third years, fourth years, and it's really not just mentoring. They become your friends, you get dinner together, you go to happy hours together, and you really get to know the school from an internal perspective, and they help guide your way to success. So when people can tell you, try to study this way if this is not working for you, or talk to this person, they're a really good resource for this, or if you're just feeling sad and you want someone to be like, I know, man, like this is really tough, but you're gonna make it. I think that really best comes from people that have already been through it, who can really relate to your experience, and I think FAST really allows opportunity for that.
I think it's you have to give it back. As you progress, you just have to pass it on to the class that's coming in. And I mean, I'm still being mentored by the people that were in my FAST group and other third and fourth years as well, just because, just like you said, it's the veterans teaching the rookies, and honestly, every year you just turn into a new rookie. Every year is a different league, and there's someone that's done it before, and even if you are the best, smartest, most communicable person, there's always something that you can learn from them. And I think having them already in that position, that you're not having to search for someone to talk to and having to go through all these hoops and hurdles to find someone to give you advice. They're already there, they're ready to talk to you. Just helps facilitate the communication a lot more.
In terms of FAST, sometimes you feel like only the class above you is going to be relatable or really helpful to you. But when I was a first year, the fourth year in my FAST program, who was actually still in Pittsburgh, and he was just on my bus yesterday, and he tapped me on the shoulder at 6 a.m. I was like, who is touching me? He was also an incredible resource to me. So it really just shows you that the entire program kind of shows you this longevity throughout med school. And I remember at one point, it was in the middle of step 1 studying, which is kind of, every med student knows what I'm talking about. When I say step 1 studying, dedicated time, it's really difficult, you're trying to still find your bearings, you're just trying to get through it. And I remember he sent me a random message in the middle of it, just completely unprompted, and he was just like, hey, how are you doing? And it really just meant so much to me. I mean, it's someone that I don't see regularly, that I don't speak to regularly, but to know that they're thinking about me. And then the MS1s who were kind of the class under me that year, who I was in that position of mentoring, they were also so supportive. They gave us this giant goodie bag before a dedicated started. It was full of chocolates and snacks and all this kind of stuff. And it just really shows you that it's really not just between you and the class above you, it's really just all 4 classes that are really supportive of each other. When someone is interviewing and getting ready for residency, all of us are kind of like, hey, what's going on? How can we help you? And we're there to encourage. When people are getting through every step of the way through med school, because every single year has milestones, which is really hard to imagine, everyone is kind of there for you, which is really special. And at a time where you're just so stressed, it's really nice to get even that random message or text like, hey, how are you doing? Do you need any help? And I've found that to be something that just puts a smile on your face and has been really, really nice for me personally.
Good afternoon. I am Dr. Chenetz Pettigrew, the Assistant Dean for Student Affairs and Director of Diversity Programs here in the School of Medicine. You have learned about 2 key programs in our advising system that are rooted in the PittMed promise. It is a promise that John Milton Duff made in a speech called From the Seed Our Glory in 1886. It is a promise to our students that we have been keeping since 1886. The card in your packet is a symbol of our promise to our students to invest in them so that they can become the exceptional physicians that they are destined to be. As a result of our promise, you will become healer, teacher, servant leader, mentor, physician scientist, and advocate. On April 30th, when you have a decision to make about where you're going to be going to medical school, if there is an offer from PittMed. We hope that you have learned from your visit today enough to encourage you to consider that offer seriously. It is our sincere hope that we will have the opportunity to collaborate with you on reaching your professional goals. Thank you for spending your day with us, and I wish you much success in this process.